Hey YouTube, I'm here in the shop practicing social distancing. Here pretty much by myself, with only myself, my dog, and Beetlejuice. But I decided I want to vent out some frustrations in this whole situation. I know everyone's suffering out there, and it is, on all of our shoulders. You're not alone in all this. So, the way I'm going to cope with this today is I am going to repair this bumper. I'm going to vent out some aggression by hammering it back straight. Plan on using some pretty big hammers too. What the hell? Let's beat it up. But this is a slash cut bumper from a earlier bus, I think 63 and before. Pretty difficult to find. I know you can get possibly repops of the pointed bumper, or maybe the slash, I don't know. But this is what I have. This is the one I'm going to fix, or at least attempt to fix. So, to show you what we got here, obviously someone tried beating up this before. So we got a huge flat spot right here. Come down, multiple dents here. These 3 holes aren't supposed to be here. Someone must have put a backup light or some sort of third tail light on there. But I'm gonna weld those up. They cut openings for pea shooters. I did not do that. I bought this bumper off of the Samba. I think it was like $100, 150, 200 shipped or something like that. But anyway, this is how I got it. So I'm gonna fill these. You can see there's multiple dings, dents, creases, all sorts of stuff, and we're gonna try beating this back into submission. Another flat spot here. See, the problem with this flat spot and that one is I can't hammer and dolly it without because the mounts are right in the way. So obviously he backed into something with the overriders and it pushed it in those areas. That's my guess. So I'm gonna have to cut those out in order to get to them, and then I'll re-weld them back in. So that's basically where I'm gonna start. I'm gonna cut those out, and then we're gonna start hammering. Alright, from the factory there was 4 welds. One here, one there. You can kind of still see them. Basically that's all I did was cut the 4 welds. Notice on this one it has a square nut that's missing over here, so I'll be able to repair that too. I'll re-tap these just to clean out the threads, but I'm going to do the same on the other side, so bring it back. Alright, we got both of the mounts out. I noticed that this one doesn't have that nut on there either, so I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be, but I think I'm going to weld one on there anyway. Same thread pitch on both of them, just to make life a little easier in the future. Anyway, got them both out. I have it re-clamped. You can see along this bottom edge how bent up it is. I clamped it on 2 of the flatter spots, so I know that's going to be my baseline, and I'm going to use the table as my dolly. It's 3/8 plate, so plenty thick. I'm going to beat along this edge to try getting it flush. I'll set you up. My weapons of choice: BAHs, small ball peen, block of steel, chisel, and just a rod of tool steel. So I'm going to use those. I'm going to try beating that flat. This, it looks somewhat thick, maybe 16 gauge steel, I'm not sure, but we'll see how it goes. You see that? It's pretty flat along the bottom. I was using the clamps to clamp it down as I went, similar to spot welding, and then tapping the piece into shape. Next to the weld, I kept a lot of the vibration out and allowed this piece, it was a little bit springy, so it took the spring out, allowed it to come back down. As you can see, it's relatively flat. I'll flip it over and I'll do the other side and bring it back. Alright, we got the other side hammered out. A lot of it was folded in this way, so an easier way was I would C-clamp it, pull up on it, and that would pull the bend out to get it flat. So after I got these edges smooth, you can see relatively smooth. Smooth enough to where now I can hammer and dolly in there to get the small dings. But there is one issue. If you look down the bumper, It looks like it took a hit at the weak point where they cut the hole. And now if we look at this radius, it comes down this way, all the way down up until this point. And you can see it kind of goes down and then kicks out. So I'm gonna have to address that, because I believe because of that the arc of the whole thing isn't right, and the gap between the body and here is going to be off if I don't pull basically this back, so this has a continuous arc like this one. You can see the curvature of it on this side. It kicks out and comes back. So we'll have to address that. But for now, I'm going to hammer out this edge the best I can. I basically just took a piece of threaded rod and grounded a dull radius on it, and I'm going to go put it on its backside and beat down this way in the areas that are flattened, like right here, especially right here. So I'll get my curvature, and then I will beat all these little dings and dents out. So it looks like this. This is nice right here. And I'm glad nothing's in the curves. So it's mostly flat hammering. I'm going to get it set up. Maybe I'll show you a little bit of that. Put it on fast mow or something. So let's get it on. Alright, we're going to do a little experiment. We have, you see I have it clamped there. It's flat, and then that's where it's bowed up at this end. What I'm going to try doing is, because I have to bring this up, I'm going to wedge something under there on the table and then tighten the C-clamp and see if that will push it up. It's just an experiment, but it's worthy of, you know, trying. Something. We're going to try a V-block and a piece of angle. Try distributing some of the pressure. Tweaking it in like this. It's doing something. I have to cut a slit. Flattening it. This doesn't look bad, but I know it's... Still bowed up. Experiment, fail. Oh well, we're gonna try figuring something out here, and then I'll bring it back. Alright, here's what we're gonna try. Underneath there, I have a large V-block so I don't crush this inner lip. I have it clamped down there. Again, we're trying to get this hump out, and what I did a little bit is I'm going to cut a pie-shaped relief cut here. I already cut one, put light pressure, and it did bring it up. So I'm going to cut a little pie so I don't get this overlap here. And I'm going to bring it together with the contour, and then I'm going to weld it back together. I think that's going to get it, and then I could beat it into shape again from that point, as long as I have the curvature right. So here we go. Alright, here's our setup. A couple small pie cuts in there. Gonna clamp this down, and we should see those gaps shut, and this thing create some sort of radius. Well, it definitely took the curve out, but it went too far. So it should be easier. I could beat out the center and it should bring it back before I weld it. I'll figure out the exact radius and then get it into shape, bring you back. But that did work. It took that hump out, but I went too far. So we're going to go in reverse a little bit and bring it back down. Alright, I think we got it. Again, we cut the slots, and what I did was I cut a template on the curvature of that side, which is good, in order to get my curvature right here. So if we follow it down, you can see we're good. And then right there, we're probably an 1/8 inch off, maybe 3/16 off, but there's still a lot of banging on this thing that needs to be done. So I think it's close enough. In order to continue, what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld that so it doesn't move, and then continue the banging. Alright, we got to weld it up. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see it doesn't bow out anymore. Maybe a side shot would be better. Right in here. Before it came in, came down and then up. Now the contour is right there. So now I have to come in here by shining a light. You can see all my dings and dents right there. This whole area right in here is a flat spot. There's a big dent right there, you can see. And down there. Basically why I removed those things, because I wasn't able to get to these areas. So I removed the mounts. So let the hammering continue. I don't know if you can see that, but right here is a little wide and it's a little narrow right here. So I'm hoping by beating this down it'll pull that in, and then I could bend that back out on the table like I did to begin with. But we'll see where we're at, and if that doesn't work, there's always bigger hammers. So let's get you set up. We'll start hitting. final shape. Guy actually took his time cutting this one. Circular. Alright, I'll trace those out on some sheet metal, and then I'll bring you back when I'm welding them together. Alright, we got our shapes drawn, plasma cutter set. We're gonna nail it. That easy. Grind them to shape, put them in. Alright, got her cut out. I put her in the vise, hammered her in the middle, gave her a little curvature, but I'm going to curve it more as I weld it. See the little curve there, because this has a contour. Magnet to start me off, get it straight. Here we go. Alright. Now, I got to do the same with the other side. Kind of tack and tap, get it to contour around. Also probably do a little hammering on that before I put the new piece in. Alright, we got both holes filled. Looks pretty good. I also went ahead and filled those three there with weld. Then there was a little pinhole over there for some reason I filled, but I put a little metal backer on there to help fill it. No one will ever see it. Oh. So now I'm going to grind. I was just telling Greg that I wish I could make an opening that says, "It's grind time." But either way. Alright, good 45 minutes of hammering and dollying. It was just so full of these dings and dents. Someone abused this bumper, probably towing something with it, but if you look down it, pretty straight. The seam has a little flat spot right in here. I'm gonna do a little more hammering on that. It's sitting level. I think it'll go back into service. I think we may save this one. Little dent here from where the mount was. These radiuses seem pretty nice, at least in my opinion. But a little more hammering, a little more dollying, and then I think it's good to go. Let me know what you think.